Hello, everyone. As you know, this meeting is going to be for going through the findings of the communication audit for Coca-Cola. The purpose of this audit is to identify areas in which Coca-Cola can improve their communication strategy and provide recommended steps for making those improvements, making marketable changes, improving their communication with both customers and shareholders. Those will be the primary 2 points of focus. Obviously, we all know Coca-Cola is a globally recognized brand. It's some of the most iconic advertisements that have ever been released on television, that have ever aired on television. Most consumers are going to know the Coca-Cola polar bears around Christmas time. There are many more ads that I could reference, especially in recent years. They've taken center stage as being excellent at advertisement, especially on air with television and even radio. They have great ads as well. And even in the movie theaters, you see advertisements for them in the movie theaters as well. So the product is tried and true. It's a recognizable brand. The original Coca-Cola flavor is one of the most popular beverages that's purchased annually globally. So this is something that is not a hard sell for us. However, we do know that there are areas that we can improve. As aforementioned, we are going to be looking at both the consumer side and the shareholder side. So first and foremost, we'll look at the consumer side. Our audit found that Coca-Cola has recognizable presence on social media. And so there's a solid foundation of brand loyalty there, and there's a solid foundation of having followers that are seeing the content that's put out on social media, that's recognizing what Coca-Cola is trying to do as a brand and tracking with that side of the business. The other side of that is going to be shareholders, and we found that it is also a very reputable stock to own. Warren Buffett is a major investor, and he is the end-all be-all if you are in finance. He's one of the biggest people to look to for financial recommendations and advice, and he's a major shareholder in Coca-Cola. And so it's very important that both sides of that communication are solid, and both sides of that communication are highlighted and emphasized in the business plan and the marketing strategies moving forward. So we believe that Coca-Cola would benefit from improved communication with the shareholders. It's important that shareholders are in the know regarding company changes to hierarchy and to structure. Our audit suggests that there can be more frequent and concise communication to shareholders. So shareholder meetings can be clearer and more concise, and the emails that go out to shareholders can become more frequent and more concise as well. We also recommend that there is more active engagement across social media platforms. There are 2.9 million followers on Instagram, but that platform is not being engaged fully. There is definitely room to become a greater presence on social media. So the strategies that we recommend are creating a weekly schedule for social media engagement, creating that schedule for posts, releasing one post daily to create more of a presence and to keep the brand fresh in followers' minds, right? So you have 2.9 million followers. You want to make sure that the Coca-Cola brand is regularly being presented there on their feed, whether that's, again, through Instagram or even through Twitter or Facebook. I think that would be probably the social media to focus less on would be Facebook, but Twitter and Instagram especially, because those are quick, 140 characters, one picture, and you type a quick blurb, and you can get those posts scheduled to go out on a regular basis, and you can get a lot of engagement and generate a lot of buzz that way with new marketing campaigns, new strategies that you want to try with marketing, new products that you want to debut and kind of highlight. Those are things that we can do on social media. We also want to make sure that we're engaging with the followers by replying to comments that are made on each post. Obviously, with 2.9 million followers on Instagram, replying to every comment is unreasonable, but we want to make it a goal to reply to maybe 100 comments each day. We feel that that would increase that engagement level online, and it would show a little bit more personality for the product. We could also leverage social media by creating buzz for fundraisers for charity and offering any giveaways for anyone who participates in those charity fundraisers as well. So it's a method for us not only to increase awareness of the product, but also awareness of the culture of the business as a whole. So if it's a charitable organization that we want to be known as for Coca-Cola, we can advertise that and really get that out there on social media. And as mentioned, we are also looking at shareholders. So improving communication with shareholders, we would believe, looks like releasing quarterly statements to the shareholders, outlining pertinent changes to the structure and the vision of the business and any changes coming in the near future. We also believe that making the shareholder meetings easier to access for those who cannot be there in person is a crucial point to making communication with the shareholders better. There, we have tools like WebEx and Zoom, like we're doing now, that can make these online meetings much more accessible for the regular shareholders who aren't Warren Buffett. So the question is, how do we implement those suggestions? How do we implement those changes? We have a recommended schedule here. We have a recommended plan. It's an implementation plan that we can apply to see these strategies take effect within the next year. So for Q1 of 2024, we are going to be constructing an achievable social media posting schedule, ensuring the social media team is staffed correctly and is able to manage the flow of both content and responses. We are also going to look at creating that template for providing notable company information to shareholders. So we want to get an email template, ensuring that it is approved by executive teams and the board of directors. Obviously, we don't want to be releasing more information than is necessary. We want to make sure that the shareholders feel valued and feel communicated with. That template will allow us to create that format that we can use going forward. In Q2, we want to launch that social media schedule. We want to add or remove staff from the social media team as needed, again, making sure that we manage that staffing level. And in Q2, we also want to release that first report to the shareholders, outlining changes that are being made to the report and providing a brief scope of what shareholders can look forward to in the future. Ideally, that's when we would highlight that we will have an easier, more readily accessible meeting, such as online through Zoom or WebEx. That would be where we relay that information. In Q3, we are also going to be relaying that the meeting will be made available online. So if we don't do that in the written communication, Q3 is where we want to absolutely have that done by. And we'll provide the steps in Q3 as well. So we'll give them communication that say, these are the steps to accessing the meeting for when the time does come, when that time arrives. And then in Q4, we want to host our first annual online shareholder meeting via WebEx or Zoom, making sure that we highlight all of the improvements that we've made over the last year and over the last few quarters, and forecasting any major changes that are on the horizon for the next year. So to kind of wrap up here, we are trying to cultivate relationships between Coca-Cola and its consumers and Coca-Cola and its shareholders. And we believe that those relationships are crucial to the prolonged success of the company. We believe that implementing the plan that is outlined in this memo, in the memo that I provided to you last week, will only foster positive changes with both the consumers and the shareholders. And we believe that that will ensure marked improvement in creating customer satisfaction and shareholder confidence. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you so much for your time, and looking forward to a great next year.